So this is an update for all the paranormal bullshit that goes on in my house. This is not an invitation. Do not start doing nothing. Go away. I do not want you here. So if you've stuck with me for a while, you know that I've had lots of paranormal shit go on in my life, my entire life. In this house, I have been burned, grabbed, bruised, and all of that came from the basement. In this room in particular, this closet is janky, but we don't play with him no more. We let him have his space. So stupidly, my 13-year-old sister got an EMF detector for Christmas. Not from me. She did take it around the house. There were some spots that blinked orange. Not red, orange. Now, during this, before she got this, we had a little bit of an amp in activity that my dad was particularly taking notice to because he turned the basement into his man cave. It's really just a big TV on the wall and his lounge chair. He's blind, so he's mostly blind. Like, he can only see like 10%, and he can't see proper coloring. So he is like really close to the TV, and he has a security camera in the basement also, because if he uses his phone, he can see things a little bit better. It's hard to explain. Anyway, so there's a security camera in the basement. The one day he goes, somebody moved my security camera. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I had it facing this way and now it's facing down. I'm like, Now I used to move the security camera when I would go down there because I hated the idea of being watched. It just made me weird. It made me feel weird. But I hadn't touched it. I hadn't gone down there. Like, I had no reason to go down there. And I was like, that's weird. Now also, take this back to when I was pregnant. He has one of those singing bass fish that is motion detected, yes. But no one was down there to make it go off. And this was before we let the cats down there. No one was down there to make it go off. And we kept hearing it. I'm like, what the hell? So I went downstairs and I grabbed it. I brought it upstairs. And he goes, just turn it off. I was like, oh, dumbass, let me turn it off. It's off. It was off the whole time. So I left it in the kitchen, thinking like, oh, it's out of the basement, it won't be a problem. And I'm helping Lee with her schoolwork, and it goes, here's a little song I wrote. Because it was off and in the kitchen, and there was no one in the kitchen. It was just me and Lee in the house and our animals, and it was off. So I took the batteries out, and he ended up taking it back downstairs and putting the batteries back in. I don't know why he put the batteries back in, but he did. And I haven't heard anything from this fish. Now, mind you, this fish had actually been dead for a decade at least. Those batteries hadn't been changed in a decade. So we haven't heard anything from that fish in a while. Fast forward to current time. He's saying his camera's being moved, and now we have one cat down there. Her name is Swirly. She's a feral cat, like she shouldn't be inside, but she tries to kill herself outside. She just wants to be in a house but not be touched. And that's fine. We accept that. We don't judge. So I'm like, oh, maybe Swirly jumped up and knocked it down. He's like, no, you see the time jump. He's looking at his phone and he's showing me the time. Like, it goes from a certain time. It skips time and it is moved facing a different way. I'm like, So at that point, we took the EMF downstairs, and it starts blinking red. Red. And I'm like, you keep that to your... I don't like that. There's been no, like, aggressive... Noted, like, things... Yeah, the camera's getting moved. Stuff is getting moved. But there's nothing hostile so far. The other day we had a power outage because a tree went down not a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah, a tree went down behind us and it took out the power for like 3 blocks, and we were in the dark for a little bit. Not long, not long at all, maybe 3 hours. We had flashlights. We were good. We were good. Power came back on, and it like flickered. I was like, okay, that's the outage. It flickered, and you could hear Lee's EMF detector going off upstairs. Now, mind you, this is when you have to press the button to see it going off, like see if it'll go off, and no one was pressing the button. So I'm like, no, please no. Now, the reason I'm actually bringing this up today, whenever I cook, the kitchen lights flicker. We have hi-hats in the kitchen lights. We have 2 hi-hats. The one always flickers. My dad's like, oh, I gotta change the bulb. I gotta change the bulb. But it's not the bulb. It's not. If it was the bulb, it would have died by now. And then today, we have too many lights in the living room. We have hi-hats, then we have a ceiling fan light, and we have a standing lamp light. The only one we ever use is the standing lamp light, unless there's something where we need the hi-hats on. But we barely use them. The lamp light flickered. Wasn't paying attention to it. I'm like, okay, that one could easily be dying. And then it flickered again. I was like, I literally said this to the light. I said, we ain't playing this today. Go away. It flickered once and then it stopped. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this? This is the year of 2025. Why are y'all bothering me still? Aren't y'all supposed to be in the afterlife? Like, go. Yeah. There's more. I know there's more, but right now I can't think. I can't remember all of it. Yeah, that's about it. One, I guess, maybe interesting fact. When I take my baby for a walk, I take him for a walk every day. Almost every day, if it's not too cold or raining. And we have to walk past a cemetery to get to where we're going, because we just go to coffee and maybe to the grocery store to get baby food or diapers or whatever. He waves at the cemetery. Like, he does this or this, because he's learning these, and he waves at the cemetery. And I'm like, huh. But he's never looking afraid. He always looks smiley and happy. And they always say babies are connected to the supernatural, whatever. But I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. I make a point in saying goodbye. Like, goodbye. Because I don't want anything he's talking to follow us. So it's like, goodbye. And before you say, can't you find another route to go? Yes and no. Because if I go up too far, that's a area I don't like. I have to pass the cemetery at some point, or I go in a direction I don't like. But yeah, so that's an interesting fact. Again, I'm sure there's more I'm missing because I haven't made a paranormal update in a long time. But right now I can't think because I'm tired, but I can't fall asleep. I don't know what it is. I can't fall asleep. I got so much on my mind in a general basis that paranormal doesn't even fuck with me anymore. Why does my tattoo look like a black hole? It's not a black hole. Anyway, have a great life and tell me your paranormal shit.